Wow, it has been a hot minute since I've been here in front of this easel. Now, I painted alone, but not with you guys. So howdy, howdy. We'll do something easy to get back doing these. Try to start doing a few of these every now and then. Just been so busy. And, well, that's really enough of that. Let's paint. I've got black canvas. I put some paint up here. I have one medium on half of it. I got a little bit of a medium on the top of it. Just a clear medium. And we'll see what happens. I really don't know. This is similar to something I did the other day people like. So I'm going to take a clean brush here and grab a little titanium white. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to do a little Milky Way thing. I'm actually painting off of a photo that a friend of mine actually had of the Milky Way. Now I'm adding some things to it. And I think he took it out in Montana. Good place to catch the Milky Way. There's not much light interference out there. So I'm going to take some titanium white with the color on there. Should be able to do. Oh yeah. Now, the color I had on there was cerulean. I don't know if I'm going to like it. Cerulean is not quite transparent. So I'm going to see. I may go ahead and go back over it with this something else. I'm going to put a little light on there. Let's see how that looks on the camera. Oh yeah, see, it looks very chalky. So I wanted to try it. I never tried that, but I've got a fix for that. But really, I'm just trying to put in some light right now. And I want it to be pretty light. There's going to be a big mountain here. Pretty light around. You can kind of see where I'm shaping that mountain out already. But pretty much, that's really all I need. And I just let a little bit of light kind of scoot up in there. So you see how that's a little too white for me. So I'm going to grab another color here. Just moving the paint around a little bit. Grab another color and kind of go over that. I didn't know how that would look. So you guys got to see the whole thing from the start. Let me put my microphone right on my shirt because I keep turning away. Hopefully that's not too close and you can still hear me and it doesn't sound like I'm yelling at you. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try a color called turquoise. How about that? One of my favorite colors. I thought cerulean would be close enough to turquoise. This is a little more green, of course. Turquoise would be than that blue. Just doesn't look right. So let's just go back with a little color we might like. Let's kind of Miami Vice it up here. There we go. And when we get everything in here, it'll probably be fun. See that green? A little bit of green there. It's going to look really odd until we do some things around it. There we go. Yeah, just mix that in with the cerulean. There's Prussian blue on here too, so you'll see a little bit of that. And I want it very bright in here. So that's not an accident. I just wanted to kind of get it less chalky. Add a little Prussian blue in the cerulean and the turquoise and just kind of throw a little bit more up in here. Yeah, if it looks really bad right now, it should. Again, it's always, I'm trying to look over here on the screen to see what it looks like. So I have a mountain right here, cut through there, and that's probably pretty much it. But it's a Milky Way scene, so we can take a big brush here, or just maybe even this brush here. This is what I put the blue on here with. We'll just kind of knock that down a little bit. These scenes are so easy. And, you could spend all night painting on it, but we don't need to. Get it too bright, you don't like it, just throw a little bit of that Prussian blue back in over that. I would probably, if it was me again, I'd probably use, maybe try, shoot, what's the color? Viridian, maybe. Viridian would work, and that would look really good. You could try maybe something like phthalo green. Got an old tube of Alexandra there. That would look pretty cool. You could use any transparent color. I was trying cerulean. Again, it's not completely transparent. That's why you could see it a little bit. And it turned a little chalky. Alright. And the turquoise isn't transparent either. So, we got that. That's the easy part. Let's find out. I bought these on Amazon. I won't tell you the brand, but these are pretty cool fan brushes. Very cheap. You get all kinds of... You can see the... Goodness, let's find the smallest one in here. I haven't even opened the smallest one, but Excuse me, look at that. Wow. But the little carrying case is just as handy as the brushes. So this is one of those. This is not a name brand brush. It's one of those that came out of that pack. It looks white, and you know which one I'd be talking about there, but it's not. So I'm going to grab a little titanium white and go up here. Loaded both sides of the paint. Loaded both sides of the paint. That sounds right, huh? Loaded both sides of the brush. And I want to just kind of start thinking about the little Milky Way. Again, I've got a photo here that I'm sort of working off of. I don't care if it looks the same. Photos are great to use, but I really don't care if it looks the same. And I may throw a little color in here. We're not done when I do this once. We'll keep going back over and things. A while I'll do this, and I'm just kind of twisting that brush, and I wanted to make sure that behind the mountain there's a little bit of glow. I really don't want a bowl there for a Milky Way, but yeah, kind of do it like that for now, so I make sure and get it behind the mountain. And I can stretch up into the sky here a little bit, and have a little bit of angle over here, and I'm just going to lay this in the way I want it. It's going to look awful, and it may look awful at the end. If it looks awful, you know the rules. You won't see this one. If you're watching me, thank you for having me back. Wow, I'm up to 8,000 subscribers, and I don't even know how, because I've not put anything on here. Put that little video of Steve on here, but that's really about it. So thank you guys for subscribing and being subscribers and all that good stuff. I just have not really had time to do videos. And trying to take a little break from social media and things of that nature as we kind of work. Steve and I have been traveling around doing classes all year. Got some exciting things, but less planned for next year. And but yeah, that's been exciting. And some of you I've seen at those classes. So thank you for coming and supporting Steve and supporting me also. It's always appreciated. Steve is really appreciative of the support and the love that people show him. And I'm really appreciative of it too. And I'm really appreciative of the people that supported me during. So I've not put one on since March. And really, there's some reasons behind that. Dad passed away in March. Dad would always watch my videos in their entirety with a glass of milk and a snack, or either a Gatorade. I like to mix up a Gatorade, a mixed drink, and sit and watch my videos. And I still don't understand why anybody would watch the whole thing. I'd skip around maybe, but if you're watching the whole thing, thank you. And again, Dad would. So it's been a little difficult just to sit down and do these because of that, but. And Christmas time is not the best time to be the first time your parents not been around, so it's been a little weird and a little sad, but painting makes me happy, so I'm going to paint here and share this one. That's a couple people asked me to do a video on this. Is very similar to something else I've done. I'm just going to do it a little differently in the foreground, more or less. But again, thank you for the love and support, whether it's this being here for the channel, or when Dad passed, or when Steve and I were out on the road. All that matters. A lot of good people. There's a lot of bad things that happen in the world, and there's still a lot of good people in it, though. And we have met some great people. Hope to meet some more of you. I'm just knocking this down a little bit, and I didn't mean to get negative there. It's not really negative. It's the reality of things. Just knocking it down a little bit. You could turn your Milky Way straight across. You could straight up and down. It doesn't really matter. I've got a little bit of an angle on mine. And these scenes always look awful until you actually put some stars in. And then, of course, we put some more of I want a little more light over here. Not necessarily the Milky Way, it's just light. So the light on the mountain is it's going to be on the left side tonight instead of the right like I would normally do. And so we'll just keep playing around with that sky, and I hope you can see the lighting in here is not great. I'm working on that. Maybe the first of the year we'll have a completely different setup in here. Who knows? I keep saying that, don't I? You're like, right, tell me more. All that. I'm going to throw a little bit of dark back in. This is a good thing. You don't want to get too much paint up here, but you can always throw a little dark back in. This is Prussian blue. You can throw a little bit of the colors in. I like that to be really nice and dark in there because you're kind of seeing through it. And I always mention this is kind of an artistic look at a Milky Way. The Milky Way is not necessarily always going to look like this, right? This is not based on someone else's painting that I've been accused of stealing before. That's a long story, and some of you probably read it. But this is based on a photograph of a friend that took. And the Milky Way looked very similar to this. Very dark in this part. So, yeah, let's leave her there and see what we can do with the rest of it. So, I like to get it to that point. And then maybe we go back and we add a little bit of something to it. Maybe a little bit of that cerulean into the white. Just so it's not so... Oh yeah, I like to kind of strengthen up some of these edges. Make them a little bit brighter. And you can twirl that brush. You could use a filbert for this even. I'll tell you what would be pretty. Let me see if I've got some laying out here. Excuse me. A little bit of permanent alizarin crimson. Just a touch, like I'm going to get like the stain off the cap here and put it on my palette. Yeah, that'll make a little lavender color, but I want just a little bit of that, a little flavor change up in here instead of it just being pure white. Pure white doesn't look good all the time. You can see just barely. Just barely. Alright. And again, just a few spots. Up in there, you don't want it too bright, but I like that. Almost looks like I don't know, a bone there. That's your hip joint right there. I'm not very hip, so. Alright. And just twirl until you like it. You know, and you can always set this back down with a big brush or a 1-inch brush or something. Just kind of go up here and kind of knock it back down if you want to. Like, you got too bright right there. Just kind of knock it back into the canvas. You know, and leave it. Kind of like this. I kind of like that color too, but I see a little odd spot. You guys can probably see it right in there that I do not like, so I'm going to change that up. I want it pretty bright back there. Let's get a little more white right there. Oh, it's kind of weird. Just right around where the mountain is going to start. So yeah, let's see. Anything else I could update you guys on? There's one of the brushes that we're working on. We'll have available. This brush has been abused this year, and it has held up super well. Look how full it still is. Not been worn down too much. Really nice. So I'll have some of those for sale. Not just in classes, but other places. Alright. I like it. Now I've got to get my paint thinner out. And I've got a mess here. One of the reasons I don't show you my palette is that it's always a mess. And there's always a mess around everything on my palette. I have a thinner bucket here. I got black gesso. I've got liquin, which has kind of become my preferred medium for a black canvas. I've also got a humongous jar of, well, it's got tape on it. I've also like a little linseed oil at times. But I mean, everything is sitting here that I don't use all the time. I don't know why I do this to myself. Alright. We're going to put some stars up on that. And see what happens. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And let's see. We'll take the same old fan brush. It's got a little bit. Let me clean it. I've got some paper towels here somewhere. Clean it. Be careful with that paper towel, kid. Paper towel. Be careful with that paint thinner, kids. It's not good for you. going to do more videos, I know. Maybe some classes with the water mixable oils. Sure, people have been painting with oil paint and solvents for hundreds of years, probably thousands of years. But that doesn't mean it's still something that we should still be doing. Because it can be pretty nasty. One thing I want to do here is I got a little Prussian blue. I want to bring the dark back down. Oh, there we go. I think. Again, I can't see very well. You ever painted in the dark? It's about how I feel right now. I taught a class of lovely people out in Portland, Oregon. Very awesome people. That's a classroom that we were in I could not see. And the painting I did turned out super dark. Which I would have thought it would have been the opposite. I think I was trying to compensate for not being able to see well. And not go too bright. I'm going to knock that down a little bit. I can see my brush strokes, but that's okay. Who cares? I got my fan brush clean. Take a little bit of paint thinner. You don't need to see me doing this. No magic here. Then I'll take an old palette knife I've got laying here. A little paint thinner. Be careful with this. If you use too much and it gets too runny on you, wipe it on a paper towel and then just get a little bit on the tips of the brushes. Sorry, the bristles, not the brushes. Not using more than one. And it's going to rake. Oh, there we go. Sometimes you'll get like squigglies, like ones that are really large. Boop, boop. I want a lot of stars up here in the darker parts of the sky. Put your food away. Don't be snacking if you're painting this scene. You're going to get liquid white and paint thinner in your food. It's probably not the healthiest thing for you. Oh, step back. You put, how many stars are in the sky? Trillions and billions and billions and trillions, whatever. More than that. Well, they say there's, for every grain of sand, there's more stars in the universe. So think about that for a minute. I don't know if that's true or not. That's probably good. And don't worry about what happened down here. We'll still be able to, and we can still work on that if we wanted to. We'll just knock that into the sky. All right. Excuse me. I am going to take, let's get a little black out if I've got some here. I'm kind of doing this video impromptu. Wasn't really planning on doing it, and I was like, I tell you, I fell asleep earlier watching a painting video. Wasn't Bob. Bob came on after I fell asleep. I woke up to Bob. But a painting video, it wasn't because it was boring. It was just kind of relaxing. And so now I'm going to be up all night because I fell asleep and took a nap. Naps are good, but I don't know if I needed one tonight. Alright. I don't want to start down in here. I want to start up in here in the light. And I'm going to use the filbert just to kind of lay this out to start with. Just to get my edge on here. And I want a bump right there. And then I want to... You may have seen, if you follow me on Instagram and stuff, you've seen this painting. So it's a big valley running here, or a glaciery area. I say area. Glacier something. And then we don't, look, I'm not using any medium. Crazy, huh? I'll put a little paint down in here. But if you want to paint a good mountain, don't use any medium. Easier for it to break. Doesn't mean you don't have to do it this way. You can put some liquid medium down here, but I would almost encourage you to kind of wipe it out. Let's see how I wanted that now. Now we get the dark back in there, and it's going to make that Milky Way not look as... I don't know. It's looking a little odd to me. I don't really know the words. It's the end of the semester for me. Well, I've taught business law. Traveled with Steve. We went to Alaska. We went to Michigan. We went to Texas. We went all over the place. I drug him to Alaska. Thank you, Steve, if you watch these. I'm sure you sneak a watch every now and then. For indulging me with the Alaska trip. Got to see Alaska for the first time. And my wife and I Karen are going back this summer. She did not get to go with us like planned. Alright, that's all we need right there. You don't know what's going to happen down here just yet if you've not seen the painting I did earlier. So you'll be amazed. Something super easy. So the rest of the painting won't take that long. Now, I could sit here and paint on the mountain for an hour like I did the other night because I was like, I don't want to change it, scrape it all, change it, scrape it off, you know, all those things that we do as we're painting. But I gotta grab something real quick. Let me pause this video. It's looking pretty good. A lot of stars, man. Goodness. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. To get a little something to make. I found these knives slip out of my hands, so I put me a little tape on it to make it sticky. Alright. That way I don't hold it too tight. So the light's going to come this way tonight. That's why I wanted it really bright. I mean, we've got it bright right in here, right around the top of the mountain. So we'll have a little light over here, a little light over here. And then in here it's going to be quite dark. But instead of just talking about it, let's just get to it and do it. And I don't want to just use white for the mountain. A little green in there too. A little turquoise. Make a mess here, man. Alright. So it's going to be whitish. And let's just kind of go up here and kind of start finding our little edge there. Again, without that liquid medium on here, this is going to stick so much easier for you. And you should try it. If you're struggling with doing mountains, you know, it doesn't want to stick for you. This is kind of how I do them. If I do them left-handed, I get this edge right here started, and then I can a little more green up in that, and I can really let that knife go to town. Get rated up. I want a pretty steep edge there. All right, maybe right in here. I'm not going to worry about doing this perfectly because I don't want to take 2 hours of doing this mountain. So spend as much time as you need. We'll just kind of let that just float right in there. There we go. I want it to be a little bright. Now what I'm going to do here is I use a muted color. So it's got a little green, a little bit of the blue in it. And then I like to go back even and add just a touch of pure white to that. Big old snowy mountain. Now let's lay out some other little parts that might catch a little light. Definitely right in here, wouldn't you think? I don't want it to look like that. There we go. Very faint. Still a nighttime. See, I got it a little bright on my other one. So we'll try it. I don't know if I've told you guys. I don't know if I've done a video. I think I have. But, squeaky chair actually retired on me. So I got a new chair that doesn't squeak as bad. And some people were upset about that when I told them in person. But, you know, squeaky chair has done such amazing work for me. It was time. It was time for Squeak to go and find, you know, a little rest. We all need a little rest every now and then. Let's lay them out where we want this all to be. We could. I'll grab a little more white. Could have a little peak right in here. Doesn't really matter what it looks like right now. Or something like that. I know that looks odd right now. But before I do anything else, I'm going to start working on my shadow color. Have a little white, a little of this. And I want the shadow to be quite blue. One of my favorite things to see in nature is blue snow. It's still snow, but it's just in a shadow. And some of the best places to see that blue snow in photographs is looking for some Alaskan photography. You're like, snow's not blue. Well, it is when it's in the shadow. I just want to start thinking about in here. Yeah. In here, we're going to have quite a bit here. And I'm going to let it be like a little valley. That may need a little bit more. Just a touch more. Let's see if I've got any. What's that? That's mountain. No. Prussian blue. I was going to say I had to get me a little bit of phthalo blue out. I'll add a little cerulean to this and a little bit more Prussian. That looks a little bit better. I want it to really contrast. There we go. And we don't need to go over this 82 times. Kind of keep that swoop there. Maybe up in here, you know, that light's playing on this side too. Like I said, we'll go back over our white areas and kind of brighten those up a little bit. Goodness, let's see. And right back in here, maybe. We'll probably even put a little bit of. On my original painting, I put a little black back in, so we'll probably do that too. There's a little peak. We got that guy in here, and it's no pressure. Just let that paint work off the knife. Maybe here. We'll go ahead and just kind of put a little blue. I might raise that peak up a little bit. Looks a little odd to me. I'm going to go ahead and just have this be all blue right in here. Leave some of that black showing. It's really cool. Especially up in those areas. Let's clean our knife. We've got a little bit. We'll go back and forth here. It doesn't matter if you do your shadow first or your highlight or what. As long as, well, it doesn't matter as long as you're having fun, really. Maybe a little bit. A little bit more. You lefties will shine with this one. This is still not my strong suit going this way with a knife. But we'll make her work one way or the other, won't we? What I want to do is kind of go in here and just, there we go. There we go. Now when it breaks, there, that looks pretty good. Let's try not to touch that again because I actually think it does look good. Maybe in here. Oh, that's a little bright. That's okay. A little too edgy there too. Edgy, I don't think it's the right word I wanted, but you know what I mean. Too perfect. Too perfect of an edge. And really what I want to have happen right here, starting about right now, I want this to kind of come down like this. I wanted more sky. I looked at the other painting and I said I need less of the part that I put in and more sky. So that's kind of what we're shooting for here. Yeah, just kind of. Yeah. I'm just gonna lay that out like that. It's kind of like it's wrapping around. No wrong here. Shoot. You can paint this with a, especially because the canvas is dry, you can do this with a brush and put this snow on this one. Be probably even easier. I am consciously trying to finish this painting quicker than I normally finish them. For you guys. I don't want you watching a 2-hour video here. But I want you to see how I did that painting. Because again, some people were asking. It's super easy. As you can already see probably. Nothing about it. Now, not easy if you're not good at mountains yet. Guess what? Leave the mountain out. Put a lake down here and some trees. That would be one way to finish it out. It's just what I see. You know? Doesn't have to be what you see. I need like that in there. Need a few little edges in there. I gotta put some shadows there. It's gonna look weird. That's about right. Let's grab our blue snow again and go right behind here and Cut our edge, and I want this to kind of swoop in here. I don't want to come any lower than that. So if you're holiday shopping, we'll do a little advertisement. I've got paintings for sale if you're interested. This one will be for sale. And if you really want an amazing painting, I've got some of Steve's for sale too. So let me know. They're on the website steverossart.com. And mine, you can just contact me. Send me an email. Send me a message on here. And I'll get it one way or another. Yeah, it's like a little edge there. That's what I want. I don't care if there's a little bit of white coming over. That's okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. Now we can put a little bit of shadow back in here, a little bit of that blue snow if we want. I'll just kind of run it this way tonight. Hey, not bad. We do need to work on this area. I want this a little bit brighter. Especially, I'm going to be a little careful here. Maybe right in there. I mean, you can see that little bright spot from the Milky Way just a little bit. Remember, you don't have to take a one run or one pass at these mountains to make them look good. You can do just like I'm doing here, just kind of selectively put it in where you want it. And as usual, I'm going to get probably crazier than I need to here. A little bit there. There we go. And then the rest of it, I want it really dark. All this rest of this. And then down here, I'm going to cut a little bit of that off. I'll probably cut right here and do the last little part when I'm ready. I ain't ready yet. I need a little bit of shadow back down there. That's not dark enough. I'll change that a little bit, but I want this shadow here. I need a little more blue on that. A little more Prussian. Again, I want it to stay very dark. This is a very, very dark mountain in the shadow. Maybe this is where the Grinch lives. I don't know. There we go. Now we can find some other little peaks in here if we really want to. Paint right on the edge of the painting there. Be careful when you pick them up. And I'll paint all over the edges of the one I did the other night. And made a mess of it. There we go. A little valley in there. Now, originally, the painting that I wanted to paint, what would look really good with this one is fill it in with like a glacier in here. And it could be blue or it could be white. But for me, I'm just putting shadows. Not necessarily a glacier in here, but this snow. I could walk down through there maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't, but I'm not that adventurous. Alright. I'm making up a little more shadow because I ran out. That's all. Nothing special. Here I'm not mixing any fancy colors. Mostly white and blue. Tonight, you know me. I like to be lazy and use limited colors. Working on a couple paintings with a lot of colors in them, but I look at them sometimes and be like, I don't know that I like that. There we go. Got a little bit of white in there. Didn't mean to. I want it to kind of creep up in there. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I didn't want that white. I didn't mix. When you see that, you're not mixing your shadow enough. You don't want to mix your shadow too much, though. Sometimes you'll make your paint runny. So be careful, and I'm going to a little bit more, and then I'm going to stop, okay? Let it be kind of dark down there. And also, I'm going to run out of canvas. Over there, I may, it's a little too bright. Let's just take this out. Let that off. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Mind a little bit there, but Not much. Now, we can play around with this just a touch more. A little bit of white, just a little bit. Oh, let's see. What if there's a little bright spot right up here too? Just a little bit. Just a little highlight there. And then maybe on some of these little ridges. Maybe some of that light creeps down in there. I don't know. Use your imagination, not mine. If I painted what was in my head, everybody run. Get kind of scary. I don't feel like that. You know, you can do that, and really that's probably about all we need. I don't like this little area here, so I'm going to put a little bit more on it. Now remember, this is the Milky Way, so it's going to be darker over on this side, so we don't need as much highlight over here. The moon could even be way over here, so don't think that your brightest spot would be right there on your mountain. And we're really overdoing it here. I'm gonna, you know what I'm doing here? Don't want that mountain to be such a straight there, such a straight angle down. I can even, if I'm careful, go back with just a little bit of, yeah, right in there would be perfect. Let's use a little bit of the black and blue mixture. Black, and I'm using ivory black actually. Yeah, see how that brought that little peak back out a little bit for me. I don't want to spend much time doing this. This is where you start tinkering. I may tinker when the video's done, but that really helped the depth of that side to me. I see a couple little spots that could benefit from that. Let's go right here. This blue shadow area doesn't look right to me, so I'm gonna carefully fill that back in, and I'll go back over it because the ivory black gets a little weird looking if you get too much white in it. Doesn't look as dark as it needs to. You know, we got the black canvas that looks super dark. Yeah, maybe, oh, right there, maybe a little guy right in there. I want to just run a little bit of shadow back in there. There we go. Yeah, that kind of makes that one stand up. We could go back, clean our knife off. I've got so much white paint out here, might as well use it. Just kind of carefully. Yeah. I have found that the blacks that I buy are just kind of runny anymore. So when I try to put that white back over that black, make it look good, it just kind of smears. This white is super thick, which is good. So watch your blacks there. If they're runny, put them on a paper towel or something for a minute or two. What else? I think that's it. Now I'll probably tinker with it. Let's look on the camera there. Yeah, that'll work. All right, now the fun part, the easiest thing you could probably do. And I'm gonna get rid of a little bit of the mountain. This is why I have so much white out. If you saw how much white, that's like a half tube. I'm gonna load up a good bit of paint here, and I'm gonna chop some of this off for sure. Right in here, I wanted it to be snow. I call this painting desolate. There's no trees in this painting. I put trees in the other one. I thought it messed the whole painting up. This is a cold place to be. Yeah, I want it kind of, I want the bright white to be here because our light's there, so kind of put a lot of paint, pull, a lot of paint and pull. I don't mind seeing a little shadow in there. That's actually really nice. And then what we can do is we can say, hey, maybe in here there's some blue shadowy snow. I don't know. Gonna fill that in a little bit. Go back here and grab some white. I didn't mean to leave that open spot there. A little bit of light striking over there. Like that. And we'll get our, let's just put our white in, then we'll kind of cover it if we want. There we go. One thing I want to do here is, you may see it. Yeah, a bump there. I didn't miss my mountain out. I guess I don't need to on this one. I want to, there we go. I want that to be kind of straight. There. It's pretty straight. Whew, the mountain's huge, isn't it? Alright. So we got our bright white, and this is even pretty white. Not what I intended. Put that in here, just kind of fill that in. What I want, we'll have to put more blue. You're gonna think I'm crazy here. And maybe this is a shadowy area. Little bump there. And then maybe a little bit over here too. We're not done with them. Just something like that. Gives the painting a little something, because I'm not putting any trees. You could put trees in this, it'd probably be pretty. It just loses a little bit of the feel of what I wanted it to be. Should I get a shadow? Snow here. Don't keep going over it like I am. Better to put it in and stop. There we go. It's getting pretty dirty. Let me wipe it off. Because I don't want just that blue. Looks unfinished. Wipe a little bit of that blue off. Go back into some white. Put a little bit of white on your brush. And maybe just on the top edges. Here and there, a little bit of snow showing up. Kind of like that. There we go. There we go. It looks better. I think I picked up a little paint there on the brush. There we go. It's kind of like a, I don't know. Again, I called it, when I painted it, desolate. So I want to work on my mountain just for a minute. I don't know what time I'm at on my video. Sorry for low energy, but I hope you enjoy the painting. Let's look at it back here. Yeah. Well, you can't really see the bottom. Hold on. Now you can see what I did. Well, it looks pretty good on camera. Camera adds 10 pounds. Camera makes a painting look pretty good, apparently. Let's see what I do there. Let's see what happens here. If I wanted... Yeah, I like that. I like that look. I may change it, but... As you get closer to the snow, it'd be a little more detailed anyway. It wouldn't be so fluffy. Just a little chunky snow here. Oh, you do that. There we go. That kind of shows still those shadows I wanted in there. Ooh, this paint is thick, thick, thick. This is some good white. This is the Winton. Super good for the mountain. It is Steve and I's favorite. Just a little texture in there, maybe. Maybe a little bit right in there. Put all that dark snow in, and then I kind of go over it. Get rid of all of it. There we go. If anything else needs to be done, I don't know what it is. Other than, I don't like this little area right there. I want to bring this, see this? I want to bring this pecan off the painting. There. Same thing there. I want it to just abruptly end. There. Alright. And we could could take a little bit of this. Let's try this. Yeah, a little blue shadow behind that. I don't know. We didn't get any shadow over here. So let's work. We use a little edge on the knife. Gotta put a little bit of something in there. There we go. Yeah. What really looks good on this, guys, is the black. I don't know why. So I may run a little bit more back in there, just like that. There we go. Brought that one up. Saying howdy do. All right. Now I could tinker on this all night. I don't see the point. If you're pretty happy with it, you're better to stop. And I'm fairly satisfied with it. Maybe just a little bit of dark in there. Kind of lightly, if you can, no pressure. Go back over that just a little bit. Maybe a couple little hits of black in here. Right in here. I don't know, wherever. Ooh. No marks on the painting, Brad. Don't jab your knife into the painting. Alright, I think the only thing remaining, I probably don't have one back here, would be to put a signature on it. Well, heck, I do have one on here. Now, put trees. You could do anything with this. You could raise that mountain up a little bit if you wanted to and have a little more foreground. Let's see what color will show up. Oh, I'm going to get crazy here. I got a brush. I got a little bit of that green in this guy. We'll just use this. And this brush is not the greatest because apparently I let it dry out. You better carry your brushes. And I do. And we'll sign her up right here. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we'll sign her off when I get a good brush back here. And I'll clean that one and make it good again. Alright, let's get rid of that real quick. Put that into the painting. Craziness. Alright, there she is. Well, goodness gracious. Let's get you a straight on shot and get my shadow out of there. There it is. Kind of wild looking back here on the camera. Might have got a little bright on the snow, but so if these Milky Way shots, what you're doing is getting a time-lapse photo, so it would be pick up any light hitting on that mountain. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself, okay? Alright guys, hopefully this one turns out and we'll get on YouTube and I'll start doing these again. Can't really commit to a schedule because I got so much going on, but I'll try to do more. That's about the best I can do. I appreciate you always watching, appreciate you out there, and appreciate your messages on my older videos and things. And if you have any suggestions of things you'd like to see painted, I mean, you can see this is an easy one. I didn't have to spend 49 minutes doing this. You know, we could have done this one in 20, but it looks pretty good. I think it'll look better if we didn't have so much light on it. But thank you for watching. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, every holiday out there. Just enjoy yourself, have time with your family, and be thankful. And that's about it. I'll see you guys maybe soon. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.